Now let's deep dive into the JavaScript. Okay, so for this what I'm going to do is I have created one file and their name is index.html, as you can see here. Then now what you need to do, you just create one file and give the any name. Basically whatever I am going to write here, that will be also available for you, because I am going to put all these things in the GitHub, and from where you can get all these things, so you can also play around and practice it. But for more information, it's very important to watch it. Okay, so here I am using VS Code. VS Code is a very good code editor, and this is actually my favorite code editor. From which text editor you are comfortable, you can use any of the text editor as per your wish. So basically in the VS Code, if you will write these marks, then you will pop-up will be available. If you will click on that, then the skeleton of the HTML is generated automatically. Okay, so now it's generated. Just save it, and since this is the HTML extension, it means you can run this file any of the browser. So for our development purpose, basically we are using the Google Chrome, and I will also recommend you that you can use the Google Chrome. This will give you lots of flexibility during the development. And for the JavaScript, first and foremost, and it's very important to open the console and developer tool. Developer tool is help you to find out any error or any bug in your code, so better you will use it. Okay, if you don't know how to open it, then for your knowledge, just right click on the browser, and you will find one option which is the inspect. So just click on the inspect, you will find that developer tool will be available here. And most of the cases it might be not look like as it's open in my Windows. So in this case, what you need to do is to just click on this three dot, and here you can adjust according to your requirement. So you can also use in this way, or if you like, then you can also use the below of this web page basically. Okay, and now one thing, if you notice, you will find that this code is also available here as an element. So element thing will be come at the section of element. Basically this code, this is rendering at this page. So here you will observe there are nothing here, that's why it's a blank page basically. As you can see that it have title document, but it's not showing the document. So it means you need to refresh the page. So just save it and refresh. Again you find that its document is written here. Why this is coming here? Because we have written in the HTML. So as you know that whatever you will write, this will be appear. Now in the body, whatever you will write here, that will be appeared as a body. So basically there are many way of writing and displaying the data in the browser. So if you want to display some data on the console, why console? The console is the place where you can write your some JavaScript stuff here also, and you can also display something. Why it is important to use the console? Because during your development, if you will want to print some data, you want to see their output, then how you will see? You cannot display on the web page. Otherwise what happened that if the lots of people and lots of traffic are available, this text and output will be available for all the people. And if you not want these things, then in this case you can use the console, where it means if anybody want to see the data which you want to displaying for your testing purpose, then they need to open the inspect and go to the console. But lots of people are not using console because it is for the developer, and for the development purpose people are using the console. That's why the other, so instead of displaying the data on the browser, on the DOM, on your web pages, you can display in the console. for displaying some data in the console, just you need to write something. So for writing the JavaScript, you just need to use some here script tag. So this is the script tag provided by the HTML where you can write your JavaScript code. So if you want to display some data on the console, you can use it. So here I am going to declare one variable. So I will use here the var. As you know that var we are generally using to make a variable, and here I will write here that demo is equal to we can say here that day began. This is for the example purpose. And if you want to see their output, the demo output, you can console here. So just you will write here the console.log, and you need to provide here the demo. So here it will be a demo. Why? Because demo is the variable name we are using it. If you will write certain thing in the double quote, it means what? That it's not a variable, it's like a string, and this will be directly print. Okay, so for example, if I will save and refresh the page, I found here demo. It's written here on the console because we have provided in the double quote. But if you will provide here as a variable, then whatever thing we are assigning in the variable, that will be available here. So as you can see here that devgyan is available. So this is the one way, and this is very powerful and effective way to check the output. Okay, if there are live traffic are going on, and if you want to see some output, then it's super easy to use the console.log. Otherwise you can also use some other thing. Now let's move to the another way of displaying data. So suppose I am writing here a division. As you know that whatever you will write as a division, this will create a division, and that will be displayed on the browser. So for example, if I will write here that example here, for example, and I will save this and refresh, then I found here that is written example. But if you want to write something through the JavaScript, because as you know that through the JavaScript you can change the behavior of the web pages, so in this case you can use the JavaScript. So here instead of writing here something directly, I can use the JavaScript, because in the JavaScript you can create any variable and you can assign the value, you can change their value, you can all the programming related stuff you can do. So means make your application dynamic, you can use. That's why I am going to you write something here through the JavaScript. Okay, so again I am going to removing these things. If you want to select any document, because if you will see the web pages, some web pages are very complicated. If you will found that you will not found any selector. What is a selector? Basically, selector is used to select certain element. Through, suppose you are using the JavaScript to change the behavior of this web page, but how you will select this div and write something here? So for this you need a selector. So for the selector you can use here ID. This is for your example purpose, and ID name is I am going to give you that. So I have given here the selector ID. So through this selector ID you can change this content, means select this div tag. Okay, so for selecting these things I am going to do certain thing. So for this there are some code in the JavaScript basically, which is a document, a windows. What is the windows? Windows means for example, here you can see here the Windows is supported by all the browser. Windows is just an object. So whatever variable you will create, that all the variable are the property of the Windows object. So in this case you can see here that previously we have created one variable, then that variable are available globally. It means for this web page you can access that variable anywhere. Okay, so windows is it means that variable is stored for a windows object. So basically this is object, as you know. So whatever thing is written here in the document, all these things are known as the windows here. So don't confuse on the windows. So generally you are writing windows.document.getElement by id header, something like that. It means that from the windows you are selecting a document. Means as you know that if you are using a object in any programming language, you are generally using the dot. Okay, so here it's also like that, where windows is object, where document you are selecting, and then get element by id. This belongs to the JavaScript. It comes from the JavaScript, where this is the inbuilt function in the JavaScript. This use is to select certain thing by id. So that's why I am going to copy here. And if you will not mention here the windows, then also it will be work as expected. Means it's not required to use always use the windows here. So that's why I am going to you can also write here document.getElement by id certain thing. Okay, so again I am going to write here that windows, it's actually windows is not required, but still I am using windows.getElement by id. Okay, and now here you will provide the id. So in this case this is the selector basically, so I am going to provide here, and then dot inner html. Now you have selected this element, which is a div. Now you want to write something within that element. So again you have one inbuilt function, which is the inner html. So you just write inner html and write anything. I have written some html and then save. Now I am going to run it. As you can say, you have done it. Why it's coming? Because it's coming from this JavaScript. So as you can see, the within this div tag, this content are inserted. If you will you will click on this. You can inspect. For inspecting, if you want to select certain area, you just click here and then click here. Then you will find that we have done it written here, but actually we have provided here the example. This is override. Why? Due to this JavaScript code, because JavaScript is responsible to change the behavior of the web pages. So this change the behavior, and this append replace the value with whatever you are providing. So how amazing it is.